and the scenes, I think, benefit from that. I have to credit that scene to the director, Sean Piller, who's our executive producer on the show, because I was a little hesitant about being that close to Eric because, I just learned this stuff about, his father, and I had just met with Lucy, and I've been through this kind of rigmarole with my own story, and I was like, why am I just all buddy-buddy with him all of a sudden about this information, and I don't really want to be close to him, but he explained to me that it's kind of a testament of our relationship that we kind of go through hell and back a lot, and so it's kind of like here we are together, and the juxtaposition of what would happen when we find out that information will really read really well, and I'm glad that it did, because it is a very interesting sort of, it's kind of funny. It's like Nathan and Audrey have a sort of awkward moment like that earlier when they're working on a case together, and they're kind of side by side in this closeness sort of after the kisses happened, and it's kind of, a weird feeling for them. This kind of mirrors that just on a different level. And I think it's true. It's like, we're kind of hunkering down trying to figure, us against the world together, and then what happens when we're presented with this information that that may be a game changer in our relationship, and how do these two people that are close, I mean, physically, that's what it's representing, these two people that are close. How does this division affect them? And I think it gets shown really beautifully in the way that scene was shot.
I mean, definitely. And another thing that I speak to, you also brought up the Nathan and Audrey and just the awkwardness between you. And just another scene that I really liked was in the final two episodes, and I believe this was in the finale. And it wasn't the kiss, but it's when you're trying to determine what's going to happen after the date. And I loved that unspoken tension where you've got this nonverbal communication. You're talking about what you're going to do, but not do. And I love that. So how did you go about deciding how you're going to play that out?
I think one of my favorite characteristics of Audrey is I just feel like she's kind of like a walking awkward moment. I don't really feel like she ever was really. I mean, it's a little sad. I mean, maybe somebody did take her aside, but because of her history with growing up in the foster homes and her history of, kind of being a lone ranger, she's not necessarily the most socially, aware person. And I think that, in terms of relationships and building relationships with people, she doesn't really know how to do that. Oddly enough, she's really great at helping people through pain. She knows what they need to hear. She's able to talk people off ledges, and I don't know if maybe she's just been doing that for a long time, and so she feels really at home in that way, or if it's just something that's innately within her being. It's what she was created to do. But I think that this awkwardness in terms of how to handle relationship and how to connect with other people is something, especially, in a romantic sense. She obviously couldn't do that with Chris, and she can't do it, can she do it with Nathan? I don't know. But, also Nathan has that same sort of problem with not being able to feel, and, now he's faced with the first person that he can, and how does he do that when it's his partner, and can he risk it? And now with this huge other deal with the chief telling him that he shouldn't be in love with her, it's kind of, just a big mess. So the awkwardness, I think, is just something I know Lucas and I enjoy playing, because it creates kind of a reality that a lot of people, I think, resonate with, that a lot of us aren't, we watch those movies where we kind of see people so smoothly and move into a relationship together, but in real life, I think it's not always that easy, and I think that we kind of, the pace at which our relationship moves and the pace at which they handle each other is, we're trying to really, say that this is how people who aren't good at relationships might really act, and if they connect, it's going to be a really huge victory, but it's going to be a really tough road getting there.
And I actually like that it was played that way. My biggest fear was that you guys would become Dave and Maddie 2.0 or 3.0 or what every show fears. And I like that they stayed away from that. And I also like that after you figure out what's going on with Lucy, that you don't go back to Nathan to talk to him. You go over to confront Duke. And I liked that decision as well. So you're putting the mystery, and the writers are putting the mystery before the romance, and that makes it realistic. You're not going to put your lover before your job. It's a balance.
Right.
So,
right.
great job. But
Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
so for season 3, and I guess my biggest question for season 3 is that since it's possible that Audrey has had a relationship with a lot of the people in the town in various incarnations, and I'm assuming that she had a relationship with Vince. But I'm wondering what's going to happen next season. Will she return with a wiped memory and start a relationship with Duke, or will we see more about her past relationship with Vince?
I have no clue. We just found out that we got picked up like a couple days ago. We thought we might be picked up, but we weren't sure. So we've been kind of itching to hear, obviously, from the writers what they kind of have up their imaginary sleeves for the next season. But I really don't know. It's like I kind of maybe mid-season, first season, thought that maybe I could guess what was going on. But after they pulled what they did on me on the end of the first season by bringing in somebody else named Audrey Parker, and then the end of the second season, I kind of stopped. I've given up trying to figure out what might happen. I have no clue if they're going to explore those things. I mean, it's my dream, of course, obviously, just from an acting perspective, that my character would be able to kind of hop back and forth in time and sort of see these glimpses of these relationships. I'd love for that to be the case. But it's been kind of interesting to let that unfold, to watch the tension between Vince and Dave, and to know that they know more than they're letting on to, and they're not just like the sweet old men that we thought they were. And then also, seeing what the relationship between Duke and Audrey and Nathan and Audrey is. There's a lot of stuff going on. And, my desire is that we'd always dive into all of that would take precedence over necessary, the trouble of the week. But there's things that are beyond my control.
Yeah, but they're doing such a great job, and it's just the second half of season 1 was so tightly arced, and season 2 was just amazing that I just assumed they were already just plotting and already knew that everyone assumed that you guys would get a season 3, so.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't wait to sit down with them and hear what's up their sleeves, that's for sure.
Yeah, quickly Twitter that out so we can all write articles about it. All right, My final question is just about the holiday episode. I mean, what can we expect that will happen? And I'm assuming it'll happen in season 2 timeline, and also will we have romances between the big 3 leads? Because honestly, for a while I thought Duke and Nathan were going to have a relationship. But will it be Audrey and Nathan hinting at that, Audrey and Duke, or is it just a nice, feel-good type of episode? Not that Haven is about that.
I honestly think it's just more along the lines of a feel-good sort of gift to the fans, kind of a intermission snack, an appetizer between now and next season,
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I first heard that we were going to